Alright, I just saw Thor Ragnarok, and warning, spoilers ahead. Okay, so what is my verdict? Thor Ragnarok, it's not good. It's not good, alright? First thing I have to complain about is definitely the humor. Now, I know they were trying to go for a more humorous type of film. At least that was the goal. To me, it doesn't work. The humor in the first one actually was pretty funny to me. This one was a little too much, and it just fell flat. It was very childish, very silly, very goofy. Not my cup of tea at all, and it didn't fit in the Thor universe. And another thing I didn't like about the movie is the pacing. The beginning of the movie, it felt like they were trying to jam in a lot of things very fast, and it was just beat, and then afterwards, it started to slow down. It just felt very inconsistent, and when they finally got to the end, I just really didn't care. I was just ready for the movie to be over. And another thing, now here's your first major spoiler, alright? The ending of the movie has Salter take down Hela, who Thor could not defeat on his own. Now the problem I have with this is, in the very beginning of the movie, Thor completely whooped Salter. Okay, fine, there was different circumstances, he didn't have the eternal flame backing him up like he did at the end of the movie, but still, I think that's really weird booking if you're gonna have a guy job out in the beginning of the film just to have him be the ultimate being to destroy the big bad. And now other minor things, Karl Urban's character of the Executioner, really didn't care for his arc. Oh, he turns good at the end, big deal, don't care, wasn't invested in him. I also didn't care for the really bad makeup and CGI of Thor losing his eye. And while it did make for a cool moment and all, the reveal that Loki was actually Odin this whole time could have been a bigger deal. They just kind of washed over it. And the whole Loki-Thor dynamic, was kind of played out, nothing really special here. Yeah, they changed it up a little bit, but don't care. I was over it in Thor: The Dark World, and I'm over it now. And as for the whole Bruce Banner Hulk thing, when he finally went back to being Bruce Banner, and he was very neurotic, he was a very different character. But when we got the Hulk and he was acting like a little kid, I didn't like that either. A big thing for me was a lot of these characters were acting extremely out of context. Right from the beginning, we see Thor and he was cracking jokes, cracking wise, being funny, and when was he ever this funny, intentionally? I think a big part of the reason why I like the humor of the original Thor was because the jokes were at his expense, but he didn't do it on purpose. In this one, he was going out of his way to be funny. And I know, with Spider-Man, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, that's the thing you gotta do. You gotta make people funny. That is how you get them over. And while that might be true, it doesn't work for everyone, and Thor is definitely not that guy. This movie was a big mishmash that didn't work. This is not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it is a sloppy mess. And if the style of humor works for you, I'm sure then you'll like this movie. Not my cup of tea, not my style of humor. I was completely left out, and I think that was a big part of what this movie was banking on. If you could get on board with that, it'll work for you. But if you're like me, then it's definitely going to be very off-putting. Well, anyway, that's what I think. Let me know what you think about Thor Ragnarok in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching, and this has been Dave Knows. Oh, and how could I forget about the end credit scene? Very anticlimactic. Nothing happened. Well, anyway, thanks again for watching.